Welcome to April and Debbie Dish the Truth on Weight Loss, where we share the raw, real, and sometimes messy truth about our weight loss journeys.
I am Debbie, a weight loss coach who has lost 100 pounds and have been living in maintenance for 4 years.
And I'm April, a weight loss coach currently down 75 pounds and continuing my journey in weight loss.
Together, we'll explore the ups, downs, and everything in between, showing you that lasting weight loss is possible no matter where you are on your path.
Yes. And today we are talking about I don't have any time to do anything and how to find the time to do what you want to do.
I will tell you, I had absolutely zero time to do movement this week. None, not a minute, because I was going to do it every morning, charge the batteries on my electric bike. Kevin did, I didn't. And I didn't have time all week. And it is because I was playing this amazing word solitaire game that I have become obsessed with. But I told myself all week I didn't have time. And you know what? I'm calling How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Have you seen that movie? I love that movie.
I love that
Yeah.
movie. That's one
Uh,
of my favorite movies.
that's where Kevin, my sister Carol, that's where we got our wedding song, Feels Like Home. Um, it's from
Oh,
there,
very
but I'm gonna
nice.
call bullshit on myself a lot because
Yeah.
I use that all the time.
hmm
And I
I
do
think it,
have time.
well, I think it's really an easy out for us a lot of times. I don't have time. I don't have time. And then I do tend to think of people because you have to think of like CEOs or famous people who and they have children and all these things or who run companies or who have 12 kids or any situation, right? There's so many different variables of how busy everybody is in this day and age, but somehow many of them still find time to work out, or many of them still figure out a way to have meals prepped, or whatever it is that you want to do, meditate, whatever that you're finding that you want to do that you're not finding time to do. Mine was art. I've talked about that. I'm getting back into art and I was like, I just don't know how to find time to fit it into my day. And there are ways. So we're going to talk about ways for that today. And we're going to talk about how we have found ways to do it. Some of them were so there's always steps to things, right? It's not just like, oh, I want to find time. I'm going to find time like that. You are going to have to think about it a little bit, right? So one thing to do is to really take a look at your day, audit your day. I think that's a great phrase because you really want to look at how are you spending your time. And Debbie talked about her solitaire. I have a solitaire game that I like to play too. So does Kevin. Um, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you are spending what 20, 30 minutes on
Hour.
the game, maybe we'll say that as a just a number. That is an easy and maybe it's not all at one time, right? Because I know for me, like, I'm not gonna necessarily sit and play solitaire for 30 minutes, but it's 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 15 minutes, and it adds up. And at a quick calculation, if you take efforts and steps to find things that you can trim up, um, in 15, 30-minute time. So if you trim up your day and find 30 minutes in your day over a whole week, that's 3.5 hours that you have given back to yourself to do what you want to do with that. So the other thing too is in our previous episode, when we talked about expectations, there's sometimes an expectation, like with my art. I have to finish what I'm doing. I have to finish the piece, or I'm not done, or I didn't do it, or it wasn't enough, or whatever. I've let that go. That is not true. Even if I do it for 10 minutes, I enjoy those 10 minutes. And 10 minutes is actually a really long time. Like if you set a timer for 10 minutes and you sit there and you do absolutely nothing, it's going to feel like an eternity. Like it's really a long time. So if you want to do a meditation, a walk, 10-minute walk, if you can break up even 10-minute walks throughout your day 3 times, that's 30 minutes that you've walked for that day. It does not have to be all at once. Eventually, maybe you will find the time to do it all at once. But the expectations of it having to be a certain way right away is just going to get in your way. So, step one, look at your day and write down everything you do. Scrolling, solitaire, binge watching TV, um, daydreaming.
Uh-huh.
That could be one, right? Do you have any suggestions about how to audit your day as well? Like what other little things you could look for?
Well, I think making life easier, I think is so important to find time in your day. So for us, like grocery shopping, Kevin used to go daily when we lived in New Hampshire. Here in Arizona, we've made a commitment to go weekly just for ease. And so there's more in the house. And, I used to think people who did this were, I don't know, maybe bougie, I guess, but they have this great thing at grocery stores that they will shop for you and you can pull right into a space that says pickup and they bring it out for you. And that is something that Kevin and I have started doing. Last Saturday night, we sat and, talked about what we wanted to eat. We made our menu, we ordered the groceries, and I'm even going to tell you the whole truth on that. I get so sick of thinking of meals sometimes, and we have the same things over and over. And my life is all about how to make it easier so I have more fun, more time to do the things that I love. Like we all have things we have to do. But last week I decided, you know what, I'm going to go into chat and I typed in, I would like 7 nightly meals. We don't like tripe. I don't like tripe. Kevin doesn't like avocado. And if it creates leftovers, it's good. We like to eat whole foods and we're pretty healthy, but we don't take anything out. And 7 meals it gave me. I didn't like 3 of them. I said, give me 3 more. We liked them all. I said, make me a grocery list. I took that grocery list, I plugged everything right into Smith's Groceries, and we picked it up on Sunday. So I took the thinking out of what I needed to eat, made it so easy by asking a list, had somebody do the shopping for us, which I always am grateful for because it's helping somebody have a job, and they brought it out to us. So it just took the thinking out, made it easy, and I could spend time on something else. So I got moments by asking somebody for help, and that was grocery. I also think it's very important, like busy for me, if I'm busy, that's negative for me because when you're busy, you're overwhelmed. And so, what if your life wasn't too busy? What if your life was full? Like your life is full. And so, in the fullness of your life, you just need to find more places for it, find those moments. So I have a Kindle. I carry that with me. If I'm waiting in line at the grocery store, I open it. Gives me a few minutes to read. I love to diamond dot like you like to do your art. I have it on the kitchen table. So when Kevin's fixing dinner, I go out there, I can talk to him. I can do that at the same time. And with our weight loss, like we can do that at the same time. Like you are amazing at food prepping on Sundays and doing big food preps. And I've listened to you. I hear that you do it. And I'm like, I see from our conversations how it helps you. So that is something I've started doing, setting myself like today's a free day. Not, it's a weekend. I always know on Sundays I'm gonna do my laundry. I don't have to worry about like all week. I'm not saying, oh my gosh, when am I gonna do my laundry? Sunday is laundry day. Do you know what I mean? Like if you assign days to things, so it's already in your schedule, like plug and play. You know what I mean? And auditing
Yeah,
your time. You're so
I
right.
do. I think, and that goes to like another step of after you audit and you find these pockets of time of scheduling it like an appointment. So your Sundays are your laundry. And I agree with that too. We do it on um it depends, but usually Sundays as
Yeah.
well. It definitely never during the week because there's just too much else going on. But The other thing too is you want to, I think, when you're making these appointments and trying to find the time for yourself, really figuring out what you want to do and what you are finding important, right? So I do value food prep. For us, it frees up a lot of time during the week, a lot less stress. We're not thinking about what we're having for dinner because we already have the meal prepped and planned. And cleanup and cook time when we get home is super easy because we're usually just reheating or cooking something quick, fresh. Like if we're having fish, we will cook that fresh, and then clean up, and then we're done. So to us, that gives us a lot more time back. And then quarterly, we do a big, what we call a big weekend meal prep for the freezer. We restock the freezer, and that frees up further weekends for us. Like these past few weekends, because we just did a big food prep, these past few weekends, like we've had all day Sundays where we could just do whatever we wanted, which was really, really great. But food prep might not be important to somebody else. But in terms of weight loss, I think food prep, for me, I really advocate it because I think it's such a huge tool that, as much of a pain in the butt it might seem like to some people who it doesn't come to naturally, like I enjoy doing it, but some people don't. But when you meal prep in particular, it takes away, when you get home from work, like I said, the usually most of us by the end of our day after working, we are decision exhausted. Like I do not want to have to make another decision. I do not want to
Mm-mm.
hear somebody say, "What's for dinner?" because it's like I don't have the brain capacity to make another decision. And so that is easier. Like I said, you're not thinking about what you're eating. You're tired. You're not going to impulse eat, takeout, or something fast because you already know you have something you want to eat at home. Like we happen to love what we cook. So we look forward to it. But if you're not someone who cooks, that's fair. But there's ways to do it as well. And again, I don't want to take up a lot of time meal prep because it is something I'm very passionate about. I could talk about for hours and give tips for hours, but there are easy ways to do it. The basics are like you get a rice cooker, you make some rice, you make some beans, you have a rotisserie chicken and a frozen veg, and you have a meal. You know, it can be super simple. And the other thing that's really nice to use is sauces, because if you have, we eat chicken a lot, we don't get bored of it, but we do different sauces. Like if you like curry or if you like pesto or tomato sauce, or there's so many different ways to barbecue sauce, so many different ways to make it different, even though it's the same. But I will not take up more time on that. If anybody wants tips on meal prep, email and I will help out. But the point is, think about what is important to you. So, like for me, waking up in the morning to walk is important. So that's where I find time. I could sleep until 6, but I found my time in the morning. So I get up at 5, and that's my time to do movement. So you have to look at your day and what also you're willing to adjust to make the
Mhm.
time for what's important to you.
Yeah, and I think that is what we're willing to adjust for what is important to us. And I think that is so important. What is important to us? Because time is something that we are never going to get back and we cannot slow it down. And it is just marching on. And our time is our time. How do we want to spend it? And, I used to give away my time a lot. Because had the I felt I had to. I had to give all my time to work because I had to, serve my clients better. I had to say yes to every invitation I received because if I didn't, I, wouldn't get invited again. People would be upset. So I was giving away my time like it didn't matter, or it mattered more to give it to others than to keep it for myself. And, time for ourselves is so important. So, if you when you food prep, it gives you all that extra time in the morning as you start your day to go out for that walk. Like, what can you do today that is going to set yourself up for success, whether it's weight loss, exercise, work, whatever goal it is? What can you do today that will make it easier tomorrow, but still give you your life to live today without being overly booked. And remember, how often do we sit down to do a project that we actually finish it in the time we sit down? Like, don't put that expectation on ourselves. Just because we start something doesn't mean we can't pause it or we can't gift ourselves 10 minutes to do something and know that all those 10 minutes will add up to completion. He is looking for his screen time today. Hi, sweetie.
If anybody's watching, my one of my cats is like, I want to be in the picture too. I'm here.
His pretty eyes.
But I love that you brought up saying no. That's we're going to include this written steps in the notes, right? So that you can have it easy access that way. But one of the steps is optional, of course, as it will be written, but saying no, even just once, when you mention that, that's so powerful because we do tend to overextend ourselves a lot and say yes to so many things. And really, it's taking away time for yourself.
Mm.
And it isn't, even if you just say no once, like just try it out to try to, if somebody's asking you to do something that you know in your gut, you really don't have the time, or maybe you just don't want to, or it's your time that you would be doing your walk or your meal prep or whatever else, your meditation, and you say yes out of obligation, it's really okay to say, "I'm so sorry. That just doesn't work for me. Next time ask, maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll be able to make it work next time." Like find ways to say no so you can keep your time to yourself. And I love when you talked about too, Debbie, it goes back to not having to finish something. At your job, many, like I know at my job, I have projects going on. They're never all completed at the same time. Like I'll work on some for a little bit, then I go on to another one to keep up with all of the different things I have to do. So that's doesn't have to be any different in your personal life. You don't have to always finish the project. Set a timer. This is something I use for myself because I really struggle with staying focused. I have a procrastination issue sometimes. So I do use the tool of setting a timer. I'll set, even if it's for the dishwasher, emptying the dishwasher, I will set a timer for 15 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. And I know for that moment, that is what it helps my brain to focus on that. And sometimes that gets in my way because I just don't have a focus. So setting a timer helps me focus that moment. And then when I hear the timer, if I'm not done, that's okay. I can move on, or I can add another 5 minutes to finish whatever task I was doing. Um, but it, housework too, I think, for me anyway, I think that's a time sucker in a lot of ways. So, for an example, like laundry, we do laundry. We talked about that on Sundays. Sometimes the laundry gets put away. Sometimes I will confess the laundry does not get put away. It is clean. It is in a basket. It is in the office, like where our dresser is. But sometimes it sits in that basket because I've chosen not to take that 20 minutes to do that because I'm going to take 20 minutes to do my art or read a book or whatever I wanted to do for myself in that moment. And you know what? Life goes on. And when I'm out in the world and I'm wearing my clothes, nobody says, "Hey, was that still left in the laundry basket?"
Nobody
Nobody
cares. Yeah,
knows.
nobody
So
knows.
yeah, take the perfection away. It's, and then some weeks it does get put away, but it's, and if that really matters to you, that's okay too. It really goes down to figuring out what you could swap out for that extra time for yourself. And I think it's super powerful to take that little numbers and realize that if you just find 30 minutes a day, that's 3.5 hours in a week for you. And I think that's so, so important to think about it in small increments. It adds up, just like everything else adds up. And it doesn't have to be 30 minutes at one time. It could be 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. At lunch at work, I get 30 minutes. I don't get like a long break. And I will still go out for a 10-minute walk and go back and then eat my lunch or whatever. So it's always these little choices, swaps, that we can make for ourselves.
It is, and it's so good. And I think, it's what we want to do, not have to do, I think is such an important thing too. Like You could say, I have to put this laundry away, but you know what? You're also saying, I want to leave the laundry in the laundry basket so I can go out and enjoy XYZ, right? It doesn't, your clothes aren't dirty. Nobody knows. And they're there, I mean, whatever we do to make it feel right for us. I mean, and I think we think that if it doesn't, if we don't finish whatever it is, that it means we have to give up. And no, we just keep setting those blocks of time aside to food prep, to move, to journal, to sleep. To sleep is so important.
Mhm.
And in your time, when you're auditing your time and you're scheduling things that need to happen, remember to always take time for yourself. Time to just, I mean, April talks about showers with candles in the dark. It's beautiful. Listening to music, time for ourselves is so important. It's what should be plugged into our schedule, the first thing, because if we're not finding time for ourselves and to rejuvenate our souls, I mean, we need it.
We do. You're right. And I think I know there's people who listen to us that have a lot going on. Not only their jobs or whatever, but maybe they're taking care of a sick family member or elderly parent or anything like that. And it can feel so heavy. And like there's just not possibly 5-10 minutes in the day. And it's very tricky in those moments, I think, because we have such expectations on ourselves to take care of everybody else. And that's valid, right? You have somebody sick in your family, of course you feel like you want to be there for them. At the same time, keep in mind that to be there for them really means you need to be there for yourself, because when those times happen in difficult times like that, and we don't find those moments for ourselves, we get stressed. We might get snippy with a person. Maybe we miss something because we're overtired or we haven't done. There's so many things that can happen from not
Mhm.
finding time for yourself, whether it's a 10-minute nap. It doesn't always have to be a meditation or a journal. Self care can be anything that makes you feel better for yourself and feel a little bit more energized. If it is solitaire on your phone, taking a nap, even just sitting for 10 minutes in silence, especially if you have a sick family member or something super stressful like that is going on in your life, sometimes just go in your car. I've done
Yeah.
it at work. Like I've taken a break in my car at work and just sat in my car for a few minutes because the day was a little bit extra for me. 10 minutes in your car. Play music, don't play music. Listen to a book, don't. Sit with nothing. Just close your eyes. Just take a moment for yourself. It's so invaluable for yourself and your own health and your own importance. Reminding yourself that you are just as important as anybody else that's going through anything else. It
Mm.
doesn't diminish your importance or your value of what you need just because of somebody else's circumstances.
Good. I hear that so often, and I'm sure you have too. Oh, but what I'm going through isn't as bad as somebody else.
Mhm.
In your mind, in our minds, whatever it may not seem, but don't take away what you're going through because you're comparing it to somebody else's. What you're going through is a lot, right? Like whatever we are individually going through, doesn't matter if someone has it better, someone has it worse. It's our story. And by saying that, we're devaluing what we're going through and living through. And I think also when we're talking about somebody, I had these two recommendations given to me when we're talking about our time. There are so many little things like I can look over there. There are 4 pictures that need to be hung up. They've been there for a while. It probably would take 5 minutes to hang those up. So if there's something that you can have done, if you see it and you can do it in 2 or 5 minutes, take that 2 or 5 minutes right now. Not only is the project done, but your brain space thinking about needing that project done and how long it's been waiting will go away. And when it comes to saying no, no is so hard and it is uncomfortable, especially if you are a yes person. And if somebody invites you to something and you wouldn't go in and do it right now, you're not going to go and do it. in a week or 2 weeks. You're not, if it doesn't bring you excitement and enthusiasm, so it's a no, and that's okay. If it fires you up, say yes, but don't say no. Don't say yes out of obligation. Say no as a gift to yourself, giving you time that you can do something you say you don't have time for. Now you've just given yourself 5 hours at a party you don't have to go to, to
Mm.
do writing or crafts or food prep or what have you.
Yeah, and especially social social obligations are tricky, right? Especially maybe family members are inviting you and you feel like you absolutely have to go. So say it is a party. I think that was a great thing that you just mentioned. So it was so say it was a 4-hour party, right? That's an opportunity where you could say, I really want to be there. I absolutely can be there for about an hour, but then I have to be XYZ, wherever you want to say you have to be. Give a time limit of the time you are okay with giving. Maybe you do want to go to the event, but you don't want to spend 4 hours at the event. Just set that up to them. Or if it starts at 2 and you can't be there till 3 and you're taking that hour for yourself, or if it's going till 5 and you say I can only stay till 4. Set your own schedule and tell people what you can do, what you really want to do, because then you really will enjoy going to the event, knowing that you're leaving at the time that you can leave to still do what you want to do for yourself as well. There
Yeah.
there can be a balance with that too.
I do like that. You see, and I always think black and white in so many things, and I love that you bring it around. Like you can have both. It doesn't have to be yes, no. Can be some of it I'll go to. I
Right.
love that. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. It's really just again, tuning into what you want to do. Now, if you don't want to go to the party, definitely find a reason to say no, you don't you don't want to go. But, if you do want to go, just realize honoring yourself is just as important as including other people in your life. So, finding that balance and not putting expectations of what you should do in that time. If you want to just sit there and do nothing, sit there and do nothing if that's going to leave you feeling energized for the rest of your day. If you want to meditate or if you want to, whatever it could be, or meal prep, like I do feel very good after meal prepping. I know my week's going to be a lot easier. So that's very important to me. So is the walking in the morning. So I've talked about it in the previous podcast. Kevin and have a different routine at night. We've both been very good about it. It's been great. We have had much better weeks these past couple weeks in terms of energy levels and everything. And I've gotten my walks in, but that means I go to bed earlier and I get up earlier. But I really always ask myself about, especially the getting up earlier. Like if I get up at 5 or I get up at 6, that hour of usually broken sleep anyway, because I'm hitting the snooze, does not give me more energy. But getting up and walking absolutely gives me more energy for my day. So really be honest with yourself about what you need and what will benefit you throughout your day the most.
I love that because you could stay in bed till 6 and that you think that extra hour of sleep is benefiting and it's really not because and my friend and I have had this conversation about lazy. Like I think we were taught that if you just lounged around on the couch watching your favorite show, if you went in midday and took a nap, that it's lazy. And I don't, a lot of the things that we have taught and been told and shared labels with about lazy, hardworking, whatever the labels are. And it's not lazy. It's a form of self-care. Like today I am resting, watching The Office, which will make me laugh, right? Like that is a form of self-care. It's not lazy. If I go take a nap, it's not because I'm lazy. It's because I know I'm tired and my body needs to regenerate. So I think that that is something that we also need to really focus on is when we are taking time for ourselves, how are we labeling it? Are we labeling it lazy if we're resting? Are we labeling it indulgent if we're getting our nails done or reading or whatever? You know what I mean? Look at how we're labeling the time we take for ourselves. And if we're not labeling it something that is building ourselves up, look at that because that also does play a part in how we want to do that for ourselves.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's great the way we say it. And it made me think of while you were talking, it made me think of just like the difference of how life is now versus like way back in the day. Like we are all so go, go, go families. Every child has to be in every, sport or after school thing and these schedules that they all navigate. And when I think back to like when my mom was growing up, a lot of stores weren't even open on Sundays. Like Sunday was
No,
family day,
yeah,
relax day, go to picnic day, barbecue, stuff like that. So we have cultivated a society that just, you are right, like rest is labeled self-care, which is interpreted as being indulgent.
yeah,
Instead of just your body needs rest, your soul needs to relax and do things you enjoy. And that's why hobbies are so important because it's something you enjoy to do and it takes your brain, it really feeds the brain in a positive way. So I think the way we look at it, like you saying all the words, so important. This is it's not an indulgence. It's a body health need. Rest, rejuvenation, creativity, whether it's, reading makes your brain go to different places, art, the what is it that you do? The
diamond dotting.
diamond dotting, all of it. But I think it's really important to work on not looking at taking time to do the things that make us feel good as an indulgence.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
really required for joy. And I think it really helps with combating like negative moods. If you're feeling down, then it could also be because you're not giving yourself what you need. Tired, you're probably not getting enough rest. It could be all of those kind of things too. I think that's so great the way we look at what we now call self-care.
yeah, it's just, I mean, it's preservation, right? And that
Mhm.
you can see people who don't like that look like they're frazzled and they haven't like, we
Mhm.
see examples of that on TV, on shows and commercials, and they show us. And so much of what we get frazzled over or is just overcommitting and forgetting to put ourselves first. And anything that we can do to set ourselves up and to look at how we're spending our time when we say we don't have enough time for whatever it is. Take a day this week and really log your time every single minute. It may seem like a lot, but you'll have a picture of where you can fit more into your life. Not things to keep yourself busy, but time to give yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I love that. And it's Sunday here, so I am going to be doing some food prepping this week. And you probably will be doing some of the same. Yeah.
Yes.
So everybody find time for you this week. Find something, something that you say you don't have time for, find 2 minutes and do it for 2 minutes. That'll give you a start to finding your time.
Yeah.
So from my heart to your journey, keep blooming.
And as always, remember to wake up willing to do something that feels good to you.
Have a great day.
Bye.